If your eyes are reading this right now, know God Himself brought you here. This is no accident, this is both a warning and a call. The Lord says, a trap has been laid. There are forces in motion against you, attempting to derail what's about to break loose in your life. This is larger than you realize. This isn't about what you've been praying for. It's about your destiny, your breakthrough, your protection. Right now, heaven is raising the alarm. You are at the crossroads. One road is safety and blessing. The other is regret that will ring loud for the rest of your life. That's why you are here, for God is drawing you out of the devil's snare before it gets too late. Stop whatever you are doing and listen. Do 3 things before we dig deeper. Hit that like button, subscribe to reach 95,000 believers, and comment 99. This is a prophetic act, a call to the heavens that you are ready, awake, and covered. If you're really a chosen one, you won't click away. Your soul already understands that this is a life or death situation, but if you're not prepared to accept it, you won't be going to the end. For those who remain, your eyes will be opened, your steps will be ordered, and your life will never be the same. Now, let's go in. There are times in life when all seems well on the outside, but your spirit knows that something is not right. If you're reading this today, then it is not by chance. God is calling to you directly, chosen one. An ambush has been laid out, subtle and quiet and cloaked in comfort, but heaven has sounded the alarm. The enemy is not only attempting to hinder you, he's attempting to mute your calling, shatter your destiny, and appropriate what God has promised you. That is not paranoia, that is discernment. The devil doesn't often appear in his signature red horns and pitchfork. He appears as everything you believed you desired. The career opportunity that is too good to be true, the relationship that's right but sucks the life out of you, the friend who smiles but secretly hates your progress. The trap is real and nearer than you believe, but God in His mercy is showing it to you now. Not to frighten you but to prepare you. He desires to intervene before you walk in. He's not simply calling you out, He's calling you up. The devil might have prepared a trap, but God is preparing a platform for your breakthrough, preservation, and divine promotion. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. This time was stitched into the tapestry of time even before you were born. God's timing is always precise, not too early, not too late. This message caught up with you on time because heaven doesn't work on chance. It's intervention from above, it's God whispering, stop, take another look. God doesn't always send lightning or earthquakes when He wants your attention. Sometimes He sends a quiet voice. An abrupt message, a gentle tug on your heart. You're here today reading this because He's holding you back before you make a move that changes your future. This is not just another motivational speech. It's a spiritual siren calling out to you to get aligned before the storm arrives. Many have lost their moment because they didn't listen to a gentle nudge. Let that not be your story. You are currently detained in a sacred second, a divine checkpoint. God knew you had to see it so you could make that decision, sign the deal, or get back with that person. Timing is God's stamp, and you are in the middle of His clock. You've sensed it, haven't you? That tugging at your heart, that feeling that something huge is on its way. Like being at the ledge of a cliff and realizing you're going to soar. That isn't hope, that's prophetic insight. You've never been closer to your breakthrough. But here is the tension. The biggest war always comes before the biggest breakthrough. It is not an accident that you feel exhausted, bewildered, and inclined to give up. It is a sign. You are on the cusp of something holy, something that will change your life forever. The enemy doesn't fight what is not a threat. His resistance makes you sure of your relevance. What you're carrying is heavy. Your breakthrough is not about you, it's generational. It's going to liberate your family, shatter cycles, and unleash blessings. That's the pressure feels unbearable. But God is speaking, hold on, don't stir yet, the change is imminent. When your time comes, it will be undeniably clear and nothing shall deter it. In front of every promised land, there is always a wilderness, there is a test before every blessing. There is a trap before elevation. And it is not brash or overt, it is subtle, camouflaged, and emotionally persuasive. It speaks to your want, not your sense. Like even the garden, the enemy will not say, disobey God, he'll whisper, did God really say that? He'll wrap up destruction in familiarity, people you trust, doors you prayed for, opportunities that look like breakthroughs, but are distractions. Don't fall for it. You're not being paranoid. You're being warned. God is not trying to delay your blessing. He's trying to protect it. The trap is not only to prevent you, but to hold you back for years. One misstep here, and it will cost you more than you can even envision. But if you remain near His voice, He'll guide you past every snare and into triumph. Obedience is never convenient, but it's always potent. Currently, God isn't calling on you to comprehend. He's calling on you to trust. When you obey, you put yourself under divine protection. Obedience is your armor. In a war, you can't even see. It's tempting to run ahead, to fix things yourself, to respond emotionally. But God is saying, stand still. That stillness isn't weakness. It's warfare. It means you've surrendered control and invited God to step in. It's in the pause that God fights battles you didn't know existed. Your submission at this moment might look tiny, even silly, but in heaven's gaze, it's a doorkeeper to your fate. Don't belittle the influence of a no to something that is pleasurable, yet is not God. The boldest step sometimes is to wait when everything in you cries out to go. You observe the surface, but God observes the plan. What appears to be a blessing may be an explosive. What appears to be a Judas, God is not being dramatic. He's guarding you because you possess something too precious to be given into the wrong hands. There are huddles behind closed doors. Plans being made in secret, and wars in the spiritual realm for your next move. God, who is full of infinite love, is catching attacks you'll never be aware of. That pause, that quiet, it's Him saving you, not chastising you. It's a parent pulling a kid back from moving traffic. The kid screams, bewildered, but the parent knows what was heading his way. That's what God is doing today. Grasping you, pulling you aside, whispering, not that direction, trust the unseen hand that's been obstructing things. It's not rejection, it's rescue. Not everybody surrounding you is for you, some are just close enough to keep an eye on, not to encourage. And God, in His compassion, is revealing the unseen layers. Friends with concealed jealousy, relationships constructed on convenience, not covenant, you've picked up on the transition. You've sensed the space. That's not happenstance, that's spiritual insight. Judas kissed Jesus before He turned him in. Let that settle. At times the people who seem to love you the most are those who have been assigned to dismantle you. They speak words of affirmation, but their spirit works against your assignment. And God is removing the veil in this season. He is pulling off every mask and silencing every double tongue. This revelation isn't to shame, it's to save. God is sweeping house. Anything clinging to your life, but not your destiny, has got to go. You cannot bring in counterfeit relationships to your next page. Do not grieve what God is exposing, thank Him. Each false friend gone is one step closer to liberty. The enemy is an imitator. He doesn't only oppose, he does so in pretension. He is aware that you've been praying, fasting, and believing. Then what does he do? He wraps the wrong thing in the right package. He sends fake blessings to appear as divine doors. That new romance, that business proposition, that mentor call out? Not all open doors are of God. Some are intentionally placed detours designed to sidetrack you just before your breakthrough. The devil realizes he can't kill you, so he diverts you in this glitter that is not gold. This is why discernment is necessary. Pray before you step, quick before you sign. Pray that God will reveal the spirit of the offer. If it costs you peace, clarity, or obedience, it's not from Him. The devil can get the stage set, but God provides the spotlight. And right now, He's drawing back the curtain. If you've ever felt stuck recently, it may not be a setback, it could be divine intervention. The time you're stuck is not punishment, it's protection. God is literally hitting pause on your plans because your next step is more critical than you understand. Times God has to override your momentum to save you from yourself. He knows your heart is hungry. He sees your hunger to push forward. But He also knows what's coming down the pike. The disappointment, the heartbreak, the betrayal. And He steps in as a father would say, "Not yet, this pause is not nothing. It's sacred." It's where God rewrites the script, redirects your path, and reclaims your footing, so don't be bitter about the wait. Lean into it. Be still, listen. Let the Holy Spirit guide the dance. When the time is right, He will tell you, go. And when He tells you, no trap can hold you back. You've been feeling isolated, as if people are floating away, as if support is growing slim. It stings. But what if I told you this isolation is actually God's safeguard? What if His silence is Him speaking the loudest? Sometimes God has to strip the crowd to save the calling. You're not being rejected. You're being redirected. God is pulling you away from noise, opinions, and wrong voices so He can tune your ear to His. Isolation isn't exile. It's intimacy. It's in those quiet, isolated areas that God shares secrets He wouldn't whisper in a crowd. Consider Moses. Before he brought millions to their destiny, he spent 40 years alone in the wilderness. Why? Because the desert gives birth to wisdom and clarity. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. This alone time isn't a sign that you've fallen out of favor. It's a sign that you're earmarked for greater things. Do you ever feel like you've lost the hunger for some people, places, or things that once got you fired up? That's not indifference, it's divine anesthesia. God is anesthetizing your taste for that which is no longer in your divine assignment. It's anesthesia prior to surgery. Before He takes out what's poisonous, He mutes your emotional investment in it. That shock of losing interest? That creeping unease? It's heaven's anesthesia getting you ready for divine removal. Don't struggle, go with it. This isn't depression. This is disconnecting for safety. God is removing your heart first before He removes your feet. So when others inquire, why don't you call any longer? Why are you no longer excited about that position? You do not have to justify. Just smile and tell them, God is working on me. When God begins to shut doors, don't try to pry them open. Closed doors are not rejections, but answers. Changing relationships are not betrayals, they're enhancements. You prayed for purpose, for clarity, for protection. This is it. It just doesn't happen as you imagined. That friend that stepped back suddenly? That deal that didn't go through? That surprise conclusion? It's not a loss. It's protection. God heard things you didn't. He saw things that were done behind your back, and He moved quickly, quietly, and supernaturally. So rather than asking why, begin saying, "Thank you, you are being rescued in disguise." What you perceived as rejection was God's detour. And what lies in store will make you grateful those doors were closed. This is it. The tipping point. The ultimate test before God takes you to the next level. All that you have gone through has brought you to this. Don't make the mistake now. Don't let your feelings cloud your obedience. A single misplaced step here can derail your destiny, but a single move in the right direction can open the next 10 years of your life. To go up takes assessment. Are you willing to leave what's comfortable to take hold of what's holy? Are you brave enough to say no to the good to wait for the God? This is your Jordan River. One step and all is altered. You're not being held back. You're being held up by heaven, like an arrow drawn before release, and when God lets you go, it will be sudden, unmistakable, and irrepressible. Your ascension is not coming. It's already underway. You might not know it, but the whole heaven is mobilized in your favor. Angels are being deployed. Strategies are being rewritten. Demonic traps are being destroyed. God is taking war to your future. And the battlefield is your obedience. Like Elisha's servant who couldn't see the angel army that surrounded them, you might feel like you are outnumbered. But God is whispering today, there are more for you than against you. Each silent battle, each sleepless night, each unseen tear, heaven witnessed it all. You don't have to battle in this fight. You just have to remain in place. While you sleep, God works. While you wait, God wins. While you pray, God readies. You don't walk alone, you are protected divinely. This is a moment of crossroads. The type of moment that forges decades. You can dismiss this word, shrug it off, and do your own thing. But it will cost you more than you can pay. Or, you can lean in, obey, and step into the life God has always planned for you. God is speaking clearly. He's not stuttering. He's not hiding. He's offering you an avenue of escape before the trap closes. A moment of compliance now can shatter chains which have held good for centuries. Don't procrastinate, don't argue. Make up your mind. Your fate hangs by a thread. Will you believe God's voice above the din of this world? Will you wait when your body wants to go? Will you listen when your feelings plead to respond? This isn't merely a warning. It's an invitation. And if you take it, you won't merely get through the trap, you'll enter your most profound metamorphosis. As you put your head on the pillow at night, dreaming what's happening in the invisible, heaven is not sleeping. God does not punch out at midnight. He is writing, rewriting, and rearranging chapters of your life story while you sleep. All of your prayers you've mumbled through tears, all of your silent struggles. He's collecting them into a new story. Even when you feel forgotten, you are the star of His story. At times, the biggest changes occur silently. Just like Joseph in the Bible, who slept like a prisoner but awoke as a prime minister, God can turn your narrative around overnight. What was accumulated over years can fall apart in a day, but what appears unattainable can be reassembled instantly. That's the work of a God who operates in your sleep. So if you lie awake tonight, keep this in mind. It's not up to you to dictate what happens next. Your one task is to have faith. Set down your worrying. Rest because the same God who fixed the stars in the sky is keeping your future intact. You may drift off to sleep in doubt, but wake up to prayers being answered. Even your delays are His editing process. Each no He's given is crafting a yes more magnificent than you can envision. Your future is not accidental, it's rewritten with accuracy, love, and authority. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you'll be one sunrise nearer the promise. There are seasons when God doesn't merely direct you, He hauls you out. That's what is occurring now. Without your knowledge, He's drawing you out of enemy positions, relationships, mindsets, and environments that appeared innocent but were against your purpose. You've sensed the tension, the sudden changes, the shut doors. That's not rejection. That's rescue. Just as Lot was dragged out of Sodom prior to its downfall, God is taking you out ahead of the damage. You do not yet perceive the extent of the danger, but He does. He sees the enemy's traps, and He will not have you be a casualty. Each tight squeeze, each postponed plan, each change that caught you by surprise is a reminder that heaven is pushing you out of harm's way. This removal won't be always easy. You might lose some things you've assumed you could do without. You might grieve relationships you believed were permanent. But have faith in this, the things you lose now are nothing in comparison to what you're gaining in protection and alignment. God takes away only what will damage your purpose. When all is said and done, you'll be able to look back and say, "Thank you, God, for getting me out of there before it was too late." You'll not only survive hostile territory, you'll come out wiser, stronger, and ready for a promotion. This is your Exodus time. Have you seen how your words are hung up lately? How you don't feel as driven to explain yourself, defend yourself, or tell your plans? That's not coincidence. Heaven is quieting you, not to shut you up, but to shield you tactically. Your silence today is your protection. At times the devil needs to know to ruin your next plan. When he does not know, he will try to incite you to utter things too soon. God is closing that door. God is sealing your mouth and keeping your plans secret until the time is set. Even Jesus used to say to people, "Tell no one after healing." Why? Timing. This silence can be infuriating, but it's sacred. It's during this quiet time that God is downloading blueprints and ideas that need to stay hidden until they're ready. Don't confuse your silence for weakness. It's a mark of spiritual maturity. Lions don't roar when they stalk their prey, they creep in darkness until the attack. When God finally unleashes your voice, it won't be to protect yourself. It will be to shout victory. This silence is not punishment. It's preparation for your loudest season ever. You've been kept from more betrayals than you can number. Currently, God is interrupting conversations, blocking relationships, and disconnecting individuals who possessed secret motives. The backstabbing you didn't even see coming? It's already been foiled. Heaven intervened before the knife could touch your back. Betrayal tastes like the wound that cuts the deepest, but also serves as the greatest teacher. God only shows you glimpses of what people are really up to, not to hurt you, but to set you free. The Judas in your life will always show himself prior to your biggest breakthrough. This heavenly blocking can present as bewilderment today, abrupt closures, inexplicable distance, odd tension, but it's God creating a protective circle around you. You do not owe anyone entry at the expense of your anointing. Your heart is far too precious to be set in unclean hands. Then, you'll see the relationships God took away were potential time bombs. What seemed like loss was averted catastrophe. Your discernment grows stronger, your circle gets smaller, and your future is secure because of it. Delay doesn't equal denial. Every stall, every delay, every detour. God is stitching it all into your destiny. What you perceive as lost time is a heavenly investment. God is not slow. He's deliberate. He's laying a foundation deep enough to sustain the weight of your tomorrow. David was anointed king when he was a teenager, but didn't ascend to the throne for years. Why? Because the wait was preparing him, shaping his character, honing his faith, and expanding his capacity. The same thing is occurring to you. This waiting room isn't vacant, it's full of training you'll need in the future. You might be staring at the clock, but God is staring at the construction. He will not hurry what He's constructing in you. Each closed door is instructing you in wisdom. Each season of quietness is honing your discernment. Nothing at all is wasted when the time finally arrives. You'll understand why it took this long. What previously felt like delay will be seen as a setup for acceleration. God may be slow to you, but He's always punctual. Elevation necessitates separation. In order to bring you higher, God first draws you away. It hurts, it's painful, and it feels unjust, but it must be so. Not everyone can breathe where you are going. This solitude is not banishment. It's an invitation to intimacy. Imagine an eagle. Before it can instruct its young in the art of flight, it takes away the familiarity of the nest. Discomfort compels them to stretch their wings. God is doing the same with you. He's taking away supports, jolting habits, and distancing you from some people to instruct you on how to fly. Solitude attunes your ear to His whisper. Apart from the crowd's din, you will hear things you previously missed. It is in these times of concealment that God provides blueprints for the future. Blueprints far too precious to be revealed in the daylight. When promotion comes, you won't regret the solitude. You'll be grateful for it. The very people who did not understand your solitude will see your breakthrough and realize why God first separated you. You've been silent for some time now. No grand announcements, no dramatic changes, no explanations. Folks might assume that you're done, but in truth, you're in preparation mode. God delights in setting the stage in quiet before the spotlight is brought out. This season of silence is where your foundations are deepened. You're being made strong in private so that you can stand in public. Don't hate on it. Each unseen moment is a practice session for the grand finale. Jesus Himself waited 30 silent years for 3 blowout years of ministry. When the timing is right, your arrival will be unmistakable. Your triumph will be so resounding that it will not need words. Your performance will speak for itself. This quiet is not defeat, it's strategy. Heaven is just about to make the revelation on your behalf. Remain steady, remain quiet, and remain surrendered. When God reveals what He's been constructing in you, the same individuals that did not believe in you will be at a loss for words. Sometimes God does not hide you by relocating you. He hides you by blinding them to your importance. You are in the room but go unnoticed. You are trained but don't get the attention. It is like rejection, but it's a covering for protection. David was tending sheep in secret while being the future king. Esther lived in secret in the palace before she saved a nation. Even Jesus lived in secret years before His ministry in the public eye. You're in good company. God keeps His most precious things hidden until the time appointed. This hiding keeps you from being exposed too early. It guards you against attacks you can't yet bear. It keeps your anointing intact until you're mature enough to bear it. God is weaving it all into your destiny. What you see as wasted time is actually a divine investment. God is not slow. He's strategic. He's building a foundation deep enough to hold the weight of your future. David was anointed king as a teenager, but didn't take the throne for years. Why? Because the delay was preparing him, shaping his character, refining his faith, and enlarging his capacity. The same is occurring to you. Waiting room isn't vacant. It's packed with training that you'll experience later. You look at the clock, but God looks at the construction. He will not speed up what He is constructing in you. Each closed door is instructing you in wisdom. Each season of quiet is refining your discernment. Nothing, absolutely nothing is lost. When the time finally arrives, you'll understand why it took so long. What seemed like a delay will prove to be a preparation for acceleration. God is slow in your sight, yet He's punctual. Height demands separation. There is separation before God lifts you up. It's awkward. It's isolating. And it is unfair. Yet it is imperative. Not everybody can breathe at the level you're moving towards. This alone is not banishment. It's an invitation to closeness. Consider an eagle. Prior to teaching its young to fly, it takes away the familiarity of the nest. That discomfort compels them to spread their wings. God is doing the same with you. He's taking away supports, unsettling routines, and distancing you from specific people to show you how to fly. Isolation refines your ear to His voice. Beyond the din of the crowd, you will hear things you have never heard before. It is during these periods of invisibility that God provides you with blueprints for the future. Blueprints too precious to be given in the open. When it's time for elevation, you won't hold grudges over the solitude. You'll be grateful for it. The very same people who didn't get you when you were alone will see you through and know why God needed to isolate you first. You've been holding your tongue for a while now. No big reveals, no grand maneuvers, no explanations. Others might think you're done. But actually you're prep mode. God delights in setting the stage quietly before the lights shine. This season of quiet is where your roots dig deep. You're being made strong behind the scenes so that you can be strong in public. Don't scorn it. Every quiet minute is practice for the real thing. Even Jesus spent 30 years of quiet before 3 earth-shattering years of ministry. Your time comes, your moment arrives, and when it does, your arrival will be indisputable. Your triumph will ring so clearly, it won't need a voice. Your fruits will testify. Silence is not defeat. This is strategy. Heaven is on the verge of making the declaration on your behalf. Stay firm, stay quiet, and stay yielded. When God reveals what He has been constructing within you, the very same individuals who doubted you will be left mouthless. At times God doesn't hide you by relocating you. He blinds others to your importance by hiding you. You're present in the room, but they don't see you. You're qualified, yet they don't see you. It appears as though rejection, yet it is concealment for safety. David pastured sheep in hiddenness while being the next king. Esther lived in secret in the palace before rescuing a nation. Even Jesus was unknown while He grew up prior to His ministry. You are not alone. God keeps His most precious jewels in secret until the time is right. Such hiddenness keeps you safe from premature unveiling. It keeps you safe from attacks that you're not yet prepared to deal with. It keeps your anointing intact until you're ready to bear it openly. Don't hate being overlooked. Accept it. God is reserving you for an unveiling. When the time is right, no one will be able to overlook you. Your talent will make space for you. Your name will be spoken and your readiness will encounter opportunity. Obscurity now, influence later. God is not merely taking away, He's replacing them. For each bad voice He's quieting, He's releasing a good one. For each fraudulent connection, a heavenly connection is coming. You're not being left behind. You're being purposely repositioned. The ones who are coming next aren't just friends. They're destiny assistants. They'll pray with you, they'll speak life over you, and they'll nudge you toward your destiny. They won't hijack your call. They'll enhance it. They're not given to drain you. They're given to lift you. At times you must let go before you get. Have faith that every farewell is clearing space for a greater greeting. Don't hold on to what God is cutting off. Empty your hands. The right people are nearer than you believe. And when they do come, you'll know. You won't need to force it, justify it, or question it. Divine connections bear divine peace. You're going to get the pleasure of relationships that are home. You've prayed for confirmation. You've prayed for signs. You've wondered, is this really God? He's going to answer you, not with abstract impressions, but with irrefutable confirmation in your spirit. God knows how to speak your language. God knows how to get your attention. He is able to align things, send a word via someone you least suspect, or plant a peace in your heart so profound you can't help but admit it. Confirmation is on its way. This confirmation will not only assuage you, but it will also strengthen you. It will stifle your doubts and close the mouth of every critic. It will be a turning point where you transition from holding back to going forward. At times, life's toughest traps seem like the end of it all. You are battered, defeated, betrayed, shattered in every way. But here's the secret. Those same traps are God's secret tools to increase your strength and hone your character. What the devil intended to destroy, God will use as your best building block. See how Joseph was cast into a pit and subsequently sold into slavery? That pit was a trap, but it was what his ascent into power was built on. Your tale is no different. Each struggle you encounter is a divine workshop where God refines you into a healthier, wiser, and more trusting version of yourself. It's not pleasant. It's not clean. It's messy. But don't quit. Don't let fear immobilize you. Instead, move closer to the process. Allow God to reconstruct the broken fragments. Your breakthrough hangs in the balance. Ultimately, what you thought would be your trap will be the stage upon which you stand. Stronger, taller, and prepared to accept the fate that was always your own. It might seem like everything's breaking down, but it's not a collapse. It's a breakthrough in disguise. You're undergoing a divine shift, a holy season when God tears down the old to pave the way for new. What's painful today is setting you up for unprecedented growth. Transitions don't tend to be tidy or simple. They stretch your faith, test your patience, and challenge your identity. But these moments are not indicators of failure. They are evidence that God is remaking your story. Breaking chains, breaking patterns, breaking limitations. Even when you're lost, recall that the hand of God is leading you, like a caterpillar in a cocoon. You're transforming in secret, beyond the knowledge of others, but not beyond the awareness of heaven. This is not a time to despair. It's a time to trust and wait. Shortly, your chrysalis will break and you will fly free with wings more powerful than ever. Your change is your divine appointment with destiny. The desire to advance is great, particularly when you're stalled, but God is not finished, taking away every last shred of residue that may impede your movement. This season will feel slow, but it's required for your purity, your clarity, and your power. Residue is anything that sticks to you, but not your new season. Old ways, small thinking, poisonous people, buried fears. If you hurry, You'll carry this baggage into your breakthrough, and it will hold you back. God's refining fire is still hot, and sometimes the heat is painful. But each passing moment in this refining process makes you ready for a greater level of influence and effect. Don't hate the wait. Welcome it as a part of God's timing. When God finally lets you go, you will be free from all that kept you back. You will get into your purpose, unshackled and unstoppable. There is a war raging for you. A fight so intense you can't even look. But the truth is, here. You're being made strong not to fight this fight yourself, but to hold firm in faith while God does battle for you behind the scenes. David and Goliath with nothing but a sling and a rock, the battle is already won. You don't need an army or guns. You need obedience, faith, and patience. God is disciplining you to be quiet, to trust, and to go in peace while He does the heavy lifting. The trials you're going through right now are the training ground for the spiritual war. You're being outfitted with strength, courage, and perseverance, and when the time arrives, you will walk out a victor without ever lifting a finger. Rest in this truth. Your war is not yours to win, but God's to win. Get ready to receive the triumph He has already won. What you are presently experiencing is not indiscriminate chaos. It is a divine design. God is fitting the next 3 years of your life into place with divine accuracy. Each prayer, each tear, each season of waiting is being knitted together into a tapestry of destiny. The pain and difficulty you are experiencing today is preparing the way for unprecedented favor, opportunities, and breakthroughs that will reveal themselves over the next 3 years. This is not a season of mere survival. It's a season of supernatural favor and alignment. Remain consistent in your faith.